Let's do something. Let's go through the threat model in very simple terms for builders, okay? Let's say I am building an agent, and let's say it does involve any financial decisions. It is touching money somewhere. What should I worry about on the inference side, okay? And I'll give you a list actually, and you can tell me how you rank them so that it's very clear. Model
Sure.
swapping, or precision drift, or hidden routing, or the silent changes that go behind the scene. So you can rank which one I should worry about the most on the inference side. And also I think you should tell me which ones are the most common in the industry and which ones are the most damaging for a builder.
If you look at the usage in the industry, we can use that as a basis to assess the commonality of these things. So right now we have primarily large companies being used for inference. I think the Sam Altman quote was that the big companies are doing 10 trillion tokens a day of inference, which is just outlandish to think about. This has already been introduced into our economic lives. And so if we think about these big companies, the majority of usage is going through them. What are they most likely to do? Well, it goes back to what we were talking about before. They have implemented what we would call the blitz scaling playbook.
Right.
The blitz scaling playbook is based on a book. I've met the authors of this, actually. They came and gave a lecture at a company that I was working for. And the premise of the book is that everyone should be Uber. So you should have a loss-leading business that is highly differentiated from the predecessor business, the legacy business, as they might call it. And if you can take advantage of frothy investment markets, you're able to dump capital into that loss-leading business and get more and more market share until all of your competitors are extinguished, at which point you turn on the profits and make back all that money for investors and become an effective monopoly. So all these providers are running that playbook, which means that they want to grab the most market share possible. And the way that you do that is by serving the most consumers at once.
Right.
That's why OpenAI has this crazy free tier. I'd have to check my numbers, but I think they have like 100 million paying customers and like 600 million customers who are not paying. And that is simply because they want to be a verb. They want to be the AI on the tip of everyone's tongue, top of mind for consumers and for businesses. And they're willing to lose tons of money to just get that mind share.
No, but it is working in some way, because when college students reference AI, they say ChatGPT. Like, is this, they even professors, I've heard them say, is this ChatGPT? That's their version of AI. It's
absolutely
it's working.
It's actually quite effective. Like, Uber is still around. Like, it's a great game if you can afford to play it.
But you'll be in a perpetual cycle of raising, and then we're gonna again hit bottom rock with the quality sometime or the other, which is happening in both cases that we're talking about.
So the way that they compromise it then is, in order to deliver the broadest possible scale service, and Sam Altman has admitted this, they don't give you the highest intelligence. They give you the least intelligence that they can get away with, that will cause you to continue to subscribe to their service and not quit. So that GPT-5 autorouter was posed to us as something that was going to simplify the consumer experience. And in fairness, their model naming conventions were awful. Let's just acknowledge that up front. But the simplicity of the consumer experience was just a fig leaf for giving you dumbest model we can at any given point. Maybe it's based on the complexity of your actual query, or maybe it's just based on their capacity at any given moment. They're not transparent about it, and they reserve the right to give you a different experience based on their own internal environment and state. So that is overall the most likely thing that will happen is that they will compromise the quality of reasoning and thinking and agentic acumen that you get as a consumer in order so that they can serve the broadest possible customer base.
And like you said, they're even running out of compute. We talked about this before. It's a real problem, compute scarcity. But Travis, I have one question for you regarding this compute scarcity, which is it's very confusing for people right now to understand what metrics to even track when all of these frontier labs are very limited with their technical capacities, right? Should they be listening to some metric like these many dollars per 1 million tokens? Or P95 latency, or uptime? What are the words? Or time to serve, or underload? What are the metrics that these people who are using these labs need to track? What are the keywords, golden words?
Of course I'm biased here, but I would say availability and reliability of what? If you don't know the model that you're getting at any given point, what does any of this matter? Because what you've been fed is a series of benchmarks that say that the model has certain knowledge, reasoning, and instruction following capabilities. But if they actually give you a compressed model or a completely different model, this is also possible. ChatGPT kind of expanding on the earlier answer, they could give you nano or mini, which might be just completely different architecture. We don't know. That's going to impact you, no doubt. Like if it's your lawyer, if you're getting legal advice from this, it could give you something that is not going to hold up in a court of law, or that is, subpar as compared to the advice that somebody else is getting. If it's a business decision where you're assessing a new market and coming up with a strategy, it could point you in the wrong direction because it's just not as smart. Or because it's inherently a dumber model. Like anything that you do economically that relies on you having a trusted advisor with a certain amount of intelligence is compromised in that moment. Right. And so, we can talk about the metrics. For me, I think that they are availability and reliability first and foremost, but those are built on top of verified provenance.
Inference. Got it.
Yeah.